Well, hello, guys. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Pam from Old Hippie Homesteaders, and I'm miserable today. I'm really sorry. I wanted to get this video out. I've had quite a few people messaging me about my prepper binders. Um, Now, as you know, a year ago this week, we were evacuated from a very horrific, very scary fire called the Mosquito Fire. Now, one of the things that I did was um, when we loaded up the car when the fire started, but we had changed our mind to stay, which didn't work out very well. it, all of our plan A, B, and C went right out the window. And I turned into a screaming, crying lunatic. Sorry. I always pictured myself being really strong, fighting the fire, staying here on our homestead. No, it didn't turn out that way at all. It just did not turn out that way. Um, anyway, so on one of the things that we did, I grabbed my binders. And in my binders, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 binders. I have 7 big ones and a thin one. So in my binders, I have everything from topographical maps to where caves and things are, to making my medicinals, my salves, my balms, my toothpaste, all that stuff. Another one is, I'm looking at them right now. Another one is recipes. And that's just for non-canning. And then I have another binder for canning. And I have 3 very large binders marked personal. Now that entails anything from our boat information to our property lines to our medical, our last wishes. It's got everything in those binders besides homeowners insurance and things like that. So the binders were one of the first things that I grabbed, and they paid off in spades, because after we got evacuated and we finally found a hotel that we could go to with our pets, those binders saved our butt. I had everything we needed was in those binders. I mean, right down to like passwords and stuff. And I thought I could remember all that. No, I couldn't. Couldn't remember anything. So let me show you my binders, and let me show you a few things that are in them. I have them in my personal binders. I have them alphabetically. And I have kind of my cooking binders a little bit organized. I don't have the topographical maps organized. I just have the maps in little uh, plastic folders. So let me show them to you. Now, I got my binders at the Goodwill. I even found the plastic sheets at the Goodwill. Plastic sheets. I found a binder that I liked, but then there was another binder that was full of plastic sheets. So I just transferred the plastic sheets to my binder. They were the same price with or without the plastic sheets. I took them up to the counter, asked them if I could, have these plastic sheets. They said just transfer them over. Bing, bada, boom, done. So let me get to this real quick here. Okay, so what you're looking at is my binders. Now, these are the 3 personal binders that I have. I have them 1, 2, and 3, and they're divided A through Z. Okay? Now, these are very huge. These have everything in them, and these are all marked. It's got my car, our on-demand propane hot water, all of our hunting information from when we get our hunting tags, homeowners insurance, house insurance, more house information, insurance, just everything. Every single thing that we would need to know is in these 3 big binders. It's got our warranties. It's got how to use, how to use equipment, manuals, everything. So this one here is our tax stuff. This one here is just a little bit of stuff of my husband's. Now this one here is canning. It's got all my pressure canning. It's got all marked labels. I don't have it by food. I have it by food type. Now in the beginning of this, I have instructions how to use the pressure canner, how to use my steamers, how to use all my appliances that are here in this room. Right down to even my, what's it called? My freeze dryer. So that's what that binder is. This one here is recipes, all my baking recipes, cakes, cookies, all that stuff. And everything is in a clear folder. Now this one here is, it says medicinals, oils. It's got, to make my laundry soap, to do with our bees, our incubator, lavender. It's got every single thing in here. It also has information on nuclear fallout. It has how to make your bug sprays. It's got a lot of different information in here. A lot of different information. Now this one is all of our topographical maps. These maps, when we go on a trip with the Harley, I mark with GPS where we find caves, water sources, what animals we see, abandoned homes. Everything is done with a GPS. So if we have to do a plan A, B, or C or whatever, we've got these maps marked and we know where we can go for safety, whether it's long-term or short-term. Everything is on these maps. And we always go on a different trip every year, a different state every year. So that's what the topographical maps are for. Okay? So I grabbed these. This was one of the first things I put in my car, were these binders. A lot of people during the fire didn't even know their name of their homeowner's insurance. I had everything here. So while we were evacuated, we were able to jump ahead of everybody else in town and get our emergency insurance and get some help from our insurance company before anybody else even thought about it, because I had these binders with me. I had all of these. So this is what my binders are. Now you've got your Social Security card. You just think about the things you need. Now I had Social Security cards. I had copies of driver's license stuff. I had copies of pictures. I didn't grab any photos when we were evacuated. I keep all my photos on a little USB chip, and that's all I took. They're in a little plastic envelope. That's all I took. I did not take family albums of photos because I had previously, in years back, made copies of all that and put them on a USB chip. So I didn't have to worry about my family photos being destroyed. But I wanted to get my binders out because September is National Prepper Month, and I wanted to get my binder video out so you guys could see these binders. And it's got hospital information. It's got all of our medical information. It's got our blood types. It's got the surgeries we've had. It's got everything in these binders. Everything. It had the rabies for the dogs. It had all the information for our cats. It had just every single thing we needed was in these binders, and it was with us in the hotel. And it made it so much easier being away from the house, to where I didn't have to stress thinking about the things that I left at the house because everything was here. The other things, everything can be replaced, but replacing things like this takes a lot of time, especially if you lose your driver's license or your Social Security or your credit card information. You have to let your credit card companies know that you've been evacuated. All your information is right here. if you have little children and you need to put them in school for a short-term period, you have all their school records right there. Even if you are homeschooling, you have all your information in your binders. Um, so I think this is very important to get out, and I wanted to show you guys what it was. And anyway, that's so not only did this have our personal information in it, I saved my son's personal information too, and they're under here, under in their name. So if there was things that they were missing, they just said, "Mom, by the way, did you grab that?" Yes, I did. So your car registrations, all that stuff. So I wanted to get this out. I have it organized the way it works for us. You guys might want to do something differently. Um, but these came in, these, I just grabbed them, put them in my car. That's where they stayed. And then we got calmed down, and I realized that we needed to notify insurance companies and things like that. Then I brought my binders into the hotel room, and we laid them out on the desk, and we got everything in order. People asked us questions. I had the answers because everything was here in our binders. So I hope you can put some binders together, because if you lose power, if shit hits the fan and you guys lose power, how are you going to pull these things up off the internet? How are you going to look? You have your binders. You've already got your information right here. If you want to make something special and you don't have the recipe, you got it right here. If someone wants to use, one of your pieces of equipment, you've got the information right here. If a piece of equipment doesn't work or it breaks, you've got the manual right here. So everything is here. Everything's at your fingertips. Nothing gets burned. You just grab them and go. So I hope this helps. I know it helped us, and put it together the way you want. Like I said, I got all these binders at the Goodwill. Even these huge ones, the big ones. I got them at the Goodwill. One binder that I found still had maps in it, which was weird. But just look around. You've got maybe old binders at the house that your kids don't need anymore. But keep your information together. So if you do have to evacuate, if you do have to go to plan B, you've got it. You're ahead of the game. You don't have to freak out about that because you're ahead of the game. So thanks for watching, and have a cool weekend.